Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Supergirl Season 2, Episode 21. It's called Resist. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. So we're a bit late this week, but we warned you last week because we knew we'd be late. But we're here now. So this is it's really the first part of a two-part finale. It
Yeah,
felt
it
like that.
definitely is.
Everything about the start of this felt like it was the big set, the big start of Daxamites are all coming out in, and there's projections of Rhea in the sky saying "Welcome to New Daxam," and all the heroes are hiding out because there's like soldiers all over the streets. It's big.
Yeah.
I hate
They
to,
might not be calling it, but it's
yeah.
definitely a two-part.
I hate to borrow an actual good quote from Arrow because that's like acknowledging that something good came from Arrow, but
Oh, okay. I just totally thought when you said started that you were going to do a Whedon reference.
oh no. I was just going to quote Lance from I think it was last season of Arrow when he said, "Oh, it's May. The city must be in trouble." Actually, sorry, it was the city's in trouble. It must be May.
Yeah.
I very much had that feeling to it. So now we started off some cool stuff. Alex shooting a Daxamite as she leaps off the building,
Yeah.
expecting to be caught, and she
Yeah.
was.
That's
To be
pretty cool.
fair, but it was pretty cool. Cat's back though. I think that's probably the biggest thing that a lot of people are going to be talking about with this one.
Definitely.
Yeah, and she was great to have back. Right away, she was whipping out her usual lines. She gave a pep talk to Supergirl, which was very old school. We even had a sort of similar kind of idea from season one. Had that a couple of times. I had it in the finale where Supergirl got on camera and kind of inspired hope.
Yeah.
But even earlier on in the season, when she didn't have her powers, there was a scene with Kat like talking to the city. It was very reminiscent of that where she got on camera. Means which had some of the funniest moments actually when she's like, "Oh, where is that James anyway?" He's like, he's a coward. He's hiding like a coward." And Kira, also a coward. Bunch of cowards.
Yeah.
Not that she's fooled for long. She immediately knows that James is guardian.
I love she's just like, "Hi, James."
Do you know it's funny because obviously she did that with Supergirl as well. They kind of tricked her with Supergirl by having Jean impersonate her so she could see those two of them, right? But she's done it with James. She'd done it with Flash with Barry when he showed up. She immediately got
Yeah.
who that
Yeah.
was. There's something really funny about the idea that she never figured out Clark was Superman, but every single one else she meets,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, "No, you're that person. You're that
Yeah.
hero. You're that hero."
I still think she knows about Kara, and she's just like not saying it because she likes her. Whereas the others, she's like, "I don't really like you that much."
Yeah, I can kind of see that as well. I mean, admittedly, seeing two of them at the same time is pretty damning
Yeah,
evidence against it. But
but there's an alien invasion going on, so and she did just watch the president shapeshift, so
she did, yes, yeah. Alien is a alien. The president is an alien, and
she's a Derlin.
she's
That
a
was
refugee
exciting.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's all fun stuff, but my only criticism of that reveal is that it basically changed nothing
yeah.
for the
Because
rest of the
obviously we got the
episode.
little hint of it a long
Yeah,
time ago, and we thought she was meant to be evil.
yeah, but for the rest of the episode, she just was like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. We'll keep your secret. You're an alien." And then for the rest of the episode, she's just giving orders like she would be otherwise.
Yeah, maybe it'll change later.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a factor later on, but I don't know. I was fine with everything they did with it. It was just kind of weird that it didn't really affect anything.
Yeah, it kind of feels like they set that up at the end of that first episode with her, and then they were like, kind of didn't really know where to go with it, so they're just like, let's just do whatever.
I mean, I get thematically that the president herself turned out to be one of these alien refugees is.
Yeah, but it seems like a weird moment to do it.
Yeah, I understand the thematic point of it. It just as a reveal, as something that was like seeded, and then we waited for so long just for the rest of the characters that it feels like it didn't really do much. But hey, so that was it. That was there. Cat was great. Main plot of this is that they've got this cannon at the DEO, this ridiculous super thingamajig cannon that can make things
Yep,
disintegrate.
pretty much.
Don't ask me to explain it because I can't. It's a big cannon. But because the Daxamites are taking over the DEO, Alex and it ends up being Maggie have to sneak back in to get it back up. Meanwhile, Supergirl needs to try and save the fact that Mon-El and Lena are on the ship. The mothership with Rhea and all that. And Rhea wants them to get married. She's picked Lena to be the human heir
Yeah,
to
I'm
the
not
family.
entirely convinced as to why all this. Just because.
Well, I was I got it at least enough to kind of satisfy my plot needs for it. It was just kind of she wants to turn Earth into New Daxam. She wants to unite everyone under her rule. It was just and she clearly showed that she liked Lena.
I get that. It just feels like that's a bit too kind for her. Going, oh, the humans will accept me if one of their own's up here as well. I feel like that doesn't seem like what we've got to know of her. Like she'll just go, no, she just doesn't seem that she cares, and she just do what she wanted. So I didn't really get it.
We've also seen those, like, her and Daxam in general are very much about their traditions and their honours, even if it is almost like a fallacy to how they actually will just force things.
Yeah.
Because obviously, as soon as they're both like, no, we're not doing this, she's like, this children's hospital, be a shame if that blew up.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, I mean, that's not for a second think they're watering her down. And she's
no, they're not. I just don't get why she wants. I don't understand why she wouldn't just rule anyway. It doesn't make sense to me. But
yeah,
whatever.
Oh, so a big part of the emotional core of the episode is that the president is like, no, you have to fire on that ship. 2 people's not worth not doing it. Like, we'll save so many people for these 2 people, and Supergirl's struggling with that, and that's kind of the pep talk she gets from Kat. That it's not selfish to feel that that's a hard thing to do, as much as it's still the right thing to do, and it's a tough choice you may have to make. It's not necessarily selfish to not want to.
Yeah.
But she ends up teaming up with Lillian and Cyborg Superman, I guess, because I still don't know why he's called that in this show. They've still not given me a single damn reason for him to be called that.
No, not really.
But they team up, an uneasy alliance, as it were, because she wants to get on to save her daughter.
And Jean's out of commission because David Howard can be pulling double duty.
Well, it's probably because he's going to have a nice big triumphant moment next episode.
Probably, but it just makes it easier if we do one at a time.
Yeah, kind of, yes. Logistically, I get that that's maybe what's going on. But they go up, and that she's going to betray Supergirl. You can see it coming a mile off, and there's that great little moment where Wynn bumps into Cyborg Superman, and Cyborg Superman grabs his arm, and there's just that little moment afterwards where Wynn and Supergirl have this little look with each other, and she's got this little smirk on her face, they're up to something. They've got a contingency plan.
Yeah.
All fun. So they get up in the ship. Lena's a bit of a moron at this point for not figuring out that Supergirl and Kara are the same person, quite frankly, if she's not secretly figured it out.
Yeah, pretty much. But, I mean, the problem is you can say that about a lot of people when it comes to Superman and Supergirl in general, can't you?
Well, no, I just mean within the confines of this show and within the confines of... There's the scene in this episode where... Like they run into each other on the ship, and Mon-El's like, "Oh, it's Supergirl," and she's like, "Oh, Kara sent me." Everything about it. Like I'll accept the general reasons, but these shows specifically put the characters in such weird places where they have to really be able to figure. The fact that Kat goes to the secret base in the bar this episode, and Kara's sister's there, and Wynn's there.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm convinced she knows.
Yeah, but just. It's just...
No, you're right. And that one was especially when she said, the Kara sent me. It's like, well, did she need to? You kidnapped on an alien ship.
But obviously they said the fact that, Lillian was all, she's going to find out who you are eventually and she'll hate you for it. She'll hate you for the lie. Or she'll just feel like a complete idiot. That's also a possibility.
Yeah, it's possible, but, it's not like we've not seen that first one before.
That's true. Although, I mean, admittedly, she does like both Kara and Supergirl. Maybe it's just like, I like both. I mean, maybe you should be mildly miffed, but understand that there was a reason for it.
I mean, logically, what you say makes sense.
I don't see her doing that.
No, exactly.
If anything, I see this being
drama.
Well, if anything, I see this being the first or the final straw, even that turns her to the dark side. It's like, she betrayed me. She couldn't trust me. I'm evil now because I'm a Luthor.
Pretty much. She'll go, you didn't trust me because I'm a Luthor, so I might as well be a Luthor.
Yeah, as opposed to the other 7 billion people on the planet she does not trust with her secret identity.
Pretty much.
I feel like I'm making fun of a lot of this, but I actually really liked this episode.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah, Kat was back. Everything felt big and epic and tense. Big ships, maybe a little on the nose with the political statements at one point. With the they're here to make our world great again.
Yeah, it was also really strange to hear her Kat say to the president, after that, tell me you're still a Democrat, because usually they don't actually outright say
Yeah,
like
yeah.
political allegiances in any TV show. Really, is rare.
Yeah, obviously in something like The West Wing or something like that, because it's around that, they'll mention it, but
Yeah,
yeah, and most of the shows like this, they'll typically just avoid mentioning it and just, oh, they're just the president, and that's just
yeah,
all
yeah.
they'll
And that's
talk
why it
about.
was really notable, when she said that.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, obviously, Supergirl, and to an extent all the CW, DC shows, but Supergirl especially is very, very much like had its messages in there and talked about politics, and sometimes it is a bit on the nose, and here it was especially on the nose. I'm fine with it being there. It was that Democrat line just felt a little bit too too
Yeah, it,
much.
it was like that, and Kat's speech about woman power. It's the same sort of thing that Supergirl's been doing since the start, but I forget how over the top it is when Kat's given a speech.
Yeah, yeah. It just a little bit on the nose. I appreciate what it was doing. It was just a little bit
Yeah,
subtlety. I just like a little bit of subtlety, I
yeah,
guess.
pretty much.
But that said, though, the speech otherwise, when she was, alien and human have to unite together, like all that stuff was great. All that stuff in the speech was
Mm.
good stuff. Um, and inspiring all the rest of it. And you see humans in the street kind of rise up against the Daxamites, although they have super strength and stuff. So maybe not
Yeah,
best
yeah.
to go after them
How
with a
how much
bat.
are you really going to do against them? That
Yeah,
said, they are weak to lead, so just a couple of bullets.
that is true. They bring that up.
They literally just need regular bullets. So
That is true. Yeah, yeah. The police should be doing an okay job, really, when you think about
exactly.
it. That said, they're still tacticians. They're still a well-trained army.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that you should be able to fight back with regular weapons in this case.
yeah, yeah. Does such a thing as a lead sword exist? Make one.
I mean, I'd argue that that's just called a pipe.
Yeah, but that's not sharp.
Well, you can stab with a pipe.
You need to sharpen it. You need to sharpen the edge, so you've got like a more of a lead spear than a pipe.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Aye. No, admittedly the guns are easier, but I'm just saying if you want to have like a cool action scene where like a civilian's ducking and diving and eventually stabs them, that's what you do.
Speaking of cool action scenes,
Hmm.
I thought when Guardian comes in to the CAC office, I thought that one looked pretty great.
Well, his first big fight with Parasite was pretty good as well.
Yeah, yeah, but it just surprised me because it was mostly a one long shot, and the camera was moving around, and it was like, oh, this looks pretty good.
Most of the action was fun in
Yeah,
this one. Even Alex as well, as we said, like the escape and the DEO was good stuff as well.
yeah.
Oh, I do have to just make a sort of general, silly movie TV complaint here. When they're sneaking back into the DEO, Horn Maggie, they come out of one of the most ridiculously sized vents I have ever seen in my life.
Mhm. Yeah,
It is literally big enough that they're not even crawling; they're just sort of hunched over inside this big vent. It's a giant
yeah,
square. It is
yeah.
silly.
It's basically a hallway.
What is the purpose of this vent? Even the ones they crawl in the movies are typically bigger than like realistic.
Yeah, clearly the DEO is pumping some crazy stuff up.
Just to come out, it's basically a doorway that they come out of at the end of this vent. Oh man,
It is. It is.
oh dear. But no, everything was ramping up quite nicely. It felt big and epic, and really unsubtle. Supergirl's message is typically, the heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
And obviously, the one thing we haven't mentioned is the ending. So Supergirl decides not to leave with Mon-El. She says, "I want to go and try and appeal to Rhea and try and," because she's being Supergirl, compassionate. I'll admit she's maybe been a little bit more naive than usual here, because at this point, I mean,
She's trying to destroy the entire city.
yeah, she's trying to take over the entire city. Maybe now is not the time for this, but I'll accept her heart, and at least I'll recognise that when she does go back and talk to her, as soon as Rhea admits that she killed her husband the minute he didn't want to do what she did, you can almost see it in Supergirl's eyes. Oh shit, this was a lost cause.
Yeah.
She is like proper evil. Admittedly, it was kind of a poor choice in the first place, but again, heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
So I'll accept it. But obviously, the big cliffhangers, they think they're beat. We see Heat Vision destroy the cannon, and obviously, if you've been paying attention to news, Superman's popping in for the finale. So Superman shows up, and somehow, some way, Rhea has Superman under control. So we're getting Superman versus Supergirl next episode.
Yep, it's always cool when that happens, isn't it?
That should be fun. Uh, yeah, no, I think the season's done a pretty decent job of ramping up again for the last few episodes. Because even the couple before the finale I thought were quite good as well, and had good urgency and tension. There was just this, when it came back from after Christmas, though, there was a good little chunk there that was really rough.
Yeah, it was a good, like, what, 6 episodes or so where it just didn't know what it was doing. It was just, maybe it is just a case of show has too many episodes for its story. I don't know.
Maybe. Honestly, I don't even know if it was that necessarily. I think it was just a case of the Mon-El love plot was just really not good, and
Yep.
as a result, because that was the focus for like 6 or 7 episodes, it kind of dragged it down. Uh, whereas, I mean, admittedly, I don't necessarily think there was more better episodes in season one. Maybe there was. I'd have to go back and really think about it. But I think in this case, it's just a case of season two. Most of the bad ones were all concentrated in the one section. That it felt like
Yeah.
a really rough section to get through. Because once it started, once it got to that one with the alien refugee ship, it was like, oh man, this is Supergirl again. This is great. This is back to what I loved
pretty
about this
much.
show.
And it was really solid before Christmas.
Yeah, so no, good episode. Finale should be fun next week. So
Yeah, really looking forward to it.
that's where we are. That's Supergirl. So let us know what you thought of the penultimate episode of season 2 in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. It helps us out. You can also help us out, of course, by going over to patreon.com/MailedFuzzTV and seeing what some of the bonuses over there are if you want to support us. But if not, that's cool too. Get us on Twitter at MailedFuzz, @mailed_fuzz. Took me a few tries there to get that Twitter there. I don't know why, but for some
You
reason...
say it at the end of every video.
I know.
And for some reason now it's just it eludes you completely.
It's one of those days. Individual Twitters are on the screen, of course. But that's so thank you very much for watching. Sorry for the late episode this week, or the late review of this specific episode this week. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have you got any vanilla?